Hello and welcome to part 3 of this Chevron bracelet beading design. So I've done parts 1 and 2, and part 1 it was about adding a new thread, getting a new thread started. Part 2 was correcting an issue, and so this part 3 is going to be starting this design. So I know it's a little out of order, but I don't know why I did it that way, but I just did. So these are the tools that we're going to use. We are going to use Miyuki Delica beads, the 11/0s. You can use a smaller or a larger size. This is just what I'm using. These three colors are from Hobby Lobby, and they have nice sales. Sometimes like every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they have a sale on beads, and so I'll take advantage of that. You can also buy these online, of course, but I find that these colors are reasonably, or this brand is reasonably priced, and the quality is pretty high up there. The beads are uniform. There's not very many that are broken, and there's not very many that are irregular. So I think this is a good bang for the buck. We're also using Fireline. I'm using black, and I'm also using these different colors here to show the contrast. I'm using these colors because they're contrasting with one another, not necessarily because they work well. So, and I'm using the black thread as well so that you can see what I'm doing. Let's see, I'm also using a needle, a beading needle. I think this is size 11 beading needle. Let's see. No, this is size 12 because it's the red. And I did find that this eye was really small, and I had to poke a needle through the eye to kind of open it up a bit, because I couldn't get my thread through there. Okay, so I'm going to cut my line from here. Usually when I'm doing these beading projects, I like 2 arm spans, but that is a very long cord. Working with this Fireline doesn't tangle as much as something like a nylon string would. So, but if you work with a shorter line string, you're going to have to restart your strings, your line many more times. So it's either you want to keep continuously adding string, or just kind of work with the tangles, and I choose the tangles. So I'm going to bring the camera a little bit closer, cut my line, and I will show you a trick on threading. Okay, so here's our closer view. I've got my pliers, and I've got my thread. Uh-oh. I lost my thread, it looks like. Okay, pause. Okay, so for demonstration purposes, I have a shorter cord. I usually, like I said, work with the 2 arm spans. So the trick to get these tiny things through the needle is to get some pliers and squeeze down on the edge, and that gives you a nice flat surface to push through the eye of the needle. There we go. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you guys the thread. Maybe. Oh, if it can hold that. There we go. It slipped right through. Okay. So, I don't know if I mentioned this at the beginning, but we do have a stopper bead. And that just keeps the beads on, keeps them from sliding off, because you will see that these beads, if you move your design, your work will just come out. And it is very frustrating. All right, so I'm gonna pass, I have passed this through once, and I'm gonna pass it through one more time just to make sure it is nice and snug. Okay, so there is our stopper bead. Now, with this design, we have 15 rows, okay? We've got 15 rows because we have this middle row, which is the point of the color change, the point of the chevron, the arrow. All right, and so we've got 7 rows on the bottom, 7 rows on top, with that row in the middle that gives us 15 rows total. So we are going to start out with copper, and we're going to pick up 15 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. All right, so we're just going to bring these all the way down to the stopper bead. There we go. And so now we're going to start this stair stepping. So you see here we have 1 row, and then we have a row that sticks out. Okay, so that's what we are going to start now, and I'm going to use a different color for demonstration purposes so you can see what is going on here and have a good view. And also it will help you to know exactly what is happening here, so you can know on a mechanical level, I guess, on a design level. So I'm going to grab a white bead, and what I want to do is give this bottom one a partner. So to do that, I'm going to skip this bottom bead, and I'm going to go up the bead above it. Okay, so we're giving that copper bead a pearl partner. And I'm going to keep the pearl on the right side. Let's twist that around. All right. So what you can do is use your finger now to kind of hold it down and pull it up. And remember, you want to pull straight up. You don't want to pull to the side. All right, let's get these guys arranged a little bit better. They need a little help here. We want them sitting right next to each other. Now, starting this design out is very tedious and frustrating, but once we get some structure going, it's going to be okay. All right, so that's what we want. That's how we want it to look. So we've got copper, pearl right next to each other. Now, right above this partnership, we have a single bead, and we want to keep it that way because we need a stair step. So we're going to pick up a pearl bead. We are going to leave this guy alone. We want to give the guy, all right, we're going to call this partnership. We're going to call this number 1. We're going to give number 2 a partnership. So in order to do that, we're going to skip number 1 and 2 and go up number 3. Okay. Then we're just going to thread it through. Okay, so now what you have here is a little man. So you got a copper head, you've got an arm, and you've got a copper arm and a white arm, and then you've got a copper torso, and then you've got a copper leg and a white leg. All right, so we're going to leave this copper head alone, number 1, bead number 1. We're going to give bead number 2 a partner, so we're going to go up bead number 3. That's 1, 2, go up number 3. All right, so we've got a partner for this copper, and remember, you can use your nail to get him situated and pull up to tighten up the design, because we want everything to be nice and taut and together. Okay, so we are going to get our pearl bead, skip the copper head. Number 2's getting the partner, so we're going up bead number 3. Uh-oh, I went through bead number 3 and 4. Skipping 2, going up 3. Now I'm doing this down on the mat. This is a bead mat, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. The bead mat is great. It keeps these guys from rolling around. You can scoot your beads into piles and very easily kind of just scoop everything together, and I love these mats. Very reasonably priced. All right, so so we're coming out of this copper head. We want to give number 2 a partner, and then we are going to go through number 3. There we go. Now I'm going to start holding this, because normally I would be holding this under my magnification light. Okay, and I am keeping all of the pearls on the right side for this demonstration purpose. So this is just getting all sorts of twisted. Okay. All right, so here we are, copper head. Oh, let's pick up a pearl. So we've got copper head. Number 2's getting the partner, so we're going through bead number 3. We are just going to pull this through. There we go. Use our fingernail to tighten it up. And now, same situation. We're going to leave the copper head alone. We are going to partner up number 2, and then so we're going through bead number 3. And that is a great way to put it. Just leave the copper head alone. Okay, so now we're at the top. So we don't have our 3rd bead. We're not using this stopper bead. So what we're going to do is pick up, we're going to leave the copper head alone. We're going to partner up this last bead with a pearl. But since we don't have a 3rd one to go through, we're going to have to go down this copper, down the copper partner. Okay, so if you remember from my last video when we did the X, once we got to the top of the design, we had to do an X to get everything all turned back around so that we can start heading down the design. So that's what we're doing here. So we're going to give this 2nd bead a partner, but we're going to come down from the 2nd bead instead of going up the 3rd bead. So here I am going down the 2nd bead, and I'm just going the very top bead that's not the stopper bead. So I'm just going to go through that 1st bead. We're going to get these guys partnered up, and then I'm going to show you. So now we are coming, our thread is coming down the bottom of our copper partner. We need this to now go down this former copper head, who is now a torso. Okay, so we're going to go down the copper torso. All right, and once you get good at this, you can go through all 3 beads all at once. But I am doing this slowly so that you fully understand. This is getting twisted. Okay. There we go. So here is our design. Our thread is coming out of this copper torso, and now we need to go down this white foot. Okay, see how it looks like a little man here? We've got an arm, a torso, 2 legs, and then he's got a big old head. All right, so we are going to come down, and I think I got twisted in here. So what happened, what I mean by twisted is my thread here is gonna be in this loop. So if I tighten it up, it's gonna be like a knot. So you're gonna have to be careful with that. You see? You see how it is coming through this loop here? So I'm going to thread back through that and pull out of this loop. So now I'm out of the loop. Here's the loop, and I am pulling through. Okay. So now we're in a good spot. So here we've already made the X because we have given this guy a partner by going up the torso, and then, I'm sorry, we've given this guy a partner by coming down this copper arm, down this copper torso, and then down this white foot, if that makes sense. Okay, so basically we just came down the diagonal. Now we want to go back up. Okay, so in order to do that, we are going to go up this copper foot. Okay, and then we're going to also go up the copper torso and up this copper arm. So remember, now we're in the loop again. So let's bring this around so that we won't be in the loop. You see, we've got to keep all of these threads, and the longer your thread is, the more confusing this is going to get. So you're going to have to decide what it is that you want to work with. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this stopper bead. Just pull that out. All right, so now we have this nice stair step design. Okay, and our thread is coming up and out of this copper arm on the left, our last bead on the left, and we want to go back down this. We want to go down here because now we're going to start working down. If you want to, you can flip it around and start working that way, but I find that that's confusing, and so I don't do that. I go up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, so I'm going to go down this white partner. All right, and now it's time to add a new what would we call this? A new row. So as you can see that there are, as you cannot see, I guess what I should say, there you don't see any of the thread on the outside of the design. Come on, let's focus. There we go. All of this threading is done inside the seams, okay? And we've got some structure now. So everything is pretty, it's not gonna move, it's not gonna go anywhere, it's not gonna be all twisted. So what I'm gonna do is start with this turquoise color so you can see what is going on here. So we're coming down this white arm. We are going to add in this turquoise color. So we're filling in the stair steps, but we're also going to make another stair step. Okay, you see how this is protruding now? Under, it's a little difficult to tell, but it's protruding just a tad, and that's going to be our stair step going up. Okay, so we're going to fill in all these white gaps. We are now going to give the copper torso or the copper head a partner, and the copper torso slash head gets a turquoise partner. And so this is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I'm just going to weave these guys in. Just remember to keep your colors straight and remember to tighten. Now that we're going down, we're going to pull straight down. Don't pull off to the sides, because that's going to give your design a curve. Okay. Look, we've got a little bit of a knot here, but that's just a little twist. Okay. Okay, so keep picking up these turquoise, and you'll find that this is going to get easier and easier now that you don't have to worry about those things. Now that you've kind of got some structure, you don't have to worry about the design twisting. You don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about the beads falling off. So oops, I keep forgetting to keep it up. I want to bring it closer to me because I do have a harder time seeing, and I use a magnifying glass. And I did do a couple of tries where I put the magnifying glass under the camera. Let's go ahead and try that now. Okay, so here's this. Bring this down. Turn this on. Ooh, that might be a little much. Perhaps if I turn off my side lights. Bear with me a second here. Still don't think that's gonna work. So I think that I'm just gonna have to work with my old eyes because that's a little bright for y'all. Perhaps if I turn off and then turn these back on. Maybe that'll work. Okay, so it's, my eyes are, you know, I'm 44 now, and it is pretty difficult for me to see this close up. So I'm just going to have to bear with it. Okay, so, and now I was out of frame again. And just trying to bring it close to me. Okay, so there. So now we have our stair steps there. Okay, so I'm going to keep with, let's see, let's go with white. And then I'm going to do a solid row of white. And then we'll do the point of the beginning of the arrow, okay? So here is white. So for this bottom, we don't need to do that X. Luckily, we can go straight up this turquoise stair step, and that's going to partner up those two white beads. Look at that. And so we are skipping turquoise. Turquoise automatically gets skipped. There's no thinking about it because we're coming out of the turquoise, and the only way to go is up the next turquoise. Okay, and that's going to partner up that other pearl. And so this one's pretty simple too. Just partnering up these colors. Up the turquoise stair, giving us this white partner, our pearl partner. Okay. Okay, so I continue just a little bit. Here I did all of the white, and now we are ready to do the X again. We're at the top and we need to do an X to get us turned around so that we can go back down. Yeah, we'd still have to do it. Yeah, I always think that. I always think that why can't we just add it just like we do down here? But we can't. So I'm going to pick up a white, a pearl, and remember we're going to go down the top bead. We're done with this. We're done with this previous row. We're not going to do anything with this previous row anymore. We're just working with these or column, I guess you could say. We're just working with columns 1 and 2. So we're going to go down this top white. We're going to go through the turquoise. If you can get your needle to bend to go through that other white one, go ahead. I just don't do that. I try, and I find it takes more finagling to do that than it does. Oh, why didn't I go through that turquoise? I didn't go through that turquoise. I just went down through the white one. So by doing that, that gave this white one a partner. So now I can go down the turquoise and then down the white one. So it seems like I can only go down 2 beads for some reason. I don't know if it's the angle or what, but now I am coming out of this white one down here. So we're making this X. We've got white, white, we've got this turquoise torso, and then white, white. Okay, so now we've got to go back up to get us in the position to go down with the beading again. So in order to do that, we're going to have to X the other way. So we did the X down this diagonal. Now we're going to have to go down this, make this X. Okay, if that makes sense. So now I'm going, the cord is coming out of here, but we're going to push it through this white one behind it. Okay, you see? I'm going through that white one, and then I'm going to go up the turquoise. We got another tangle here. See, this happens. It's not necessarily a knot, it just gets tangled up. So you can, to straighten up your thread, you can do this with your nail, not very tight. Oh, I hit the mic, my bad. And it kind of straightens up your string a little bit, kind of gets it back into line. Okay, and I needed to give myself less of a tail as well. All right, so back where we've got the white on the outside. Now that, okay, so we're coming up this white. Trying to get it to focus. Okay, do you see where we're coming up? I'm afraid to move my hand. So we are coming up. Here's our X right here, 2 up top, middle, 2 down below. And so now we're coming out of this white one here, and then we want to go through this turquoise and out this white one on the left. See that? Okay. And that is going to put us with our thread coming out of this center pearl. Now we're going to go down the next one, and we're going to be able to continue downwards. Okay, so I'm going to continue with white. We're going to white this out. Oh, this is not even white, it's pearl. Okay. So again, we're just filling in these stair steps. So going down, we're filling in the stair steps, and going up, we're making some stair steps. And that is going to give us a complete band of the pearl. And then I can show you how to start with your with the arrow. Okay. So actually, I will probably break this up into another video so that maybe if you want, you can practice just getting this stitch done. And also, it's pretty late here, and I'm in my bedroom filming because my kids are downstairs and my husband is wanting to go to bed. All right, so here we are down at the last one. Okay, and there we go. So this is pretty easy. I'm going to attach this last one, and that'll be the end of this video, and we'll start up with the next one on going up and beginning. We're going to begin this, we're going to begin this portion right here, okay, with our pointed, maybe this is easier to see, with our pointed color beginning into this other color. So I think we'll start with copper. All right, so, and in order to put this down at the bottom, I hit the mic again, I'm sorry. And now we have this straight bottom, you see? And there is our pattern. Okay. All right, so thank you for watching part 3. Stay tuned for part 4, where we will begin with the arrow pattern. Okay, so this is just a quick tutorial on getting this started and getting the basics down. After I do getting this arrow started, then I'll start working on one of these other projects, either this black, copper, and gold one, or this cool gold, turquoise, and pearl one. Okay, and then we'll continue with these, because you should have some practice. All right, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you in part 4.